entered a fabric store full of hope and inspiration, only to find yourself overwhelmed by all of the choices in front of you?
We've all been in that place, not knowing where to start, seeing so many beautiful colors and prints and just being paralyzed by the options.
Oftentimes, if you let that anxiety creep in, you may end up leaving the store empty-handed, or worse,
You end up leaving.
I know, with something that you don't really love, right?
Yeah, so because you made a quick decision or choice based on some sort of rules that someone taught you along the line.
Getting stuck like this can be embarrassing and often gives us a real blow to our confidence. And the next time you come into the fabric store, you announce on entering, "Hi, I'm here and I'm bad at choosing colors."
Oh my
familiar?
goodness, yes. Everybody says that. I can't do this. Don't worry, we're here to help you.
Exactly. In this video, we are going to help you too. We're going to talk about the 3 Ps and the love it factor, so you can choose fabrics for any project with confidence. But first things first, real talk, right? You can choose fabrics, and heck, you're even good at it too.
We're going to walk you through the very same steps we use every day working with our clients to help them hone in on an idea and then narrow down the fabric search so you're auditioning fewer fabrics for a role in your project, not the whole store.
I know. There are many ways to choose fabrics, and we always recommend that you get help from knowledgeable staff at your local independent fabric shop, like us.
Oh, like us?
Yeah.
Yes, like us. We've even created a free flowchart illustrating the 3 Ps and the love it factor so you can do a little prep before your next fabric purchasing trip. It's even good to help you navigate choosing fabrics online. Watch to the end for just this bonus tip.
Yes, I have picked up a lot of tips being a textile designer in New York City, and I'm gonna give you a bonus tip that really helps me choose fabrics. So remember I said about the 3 Ps? We're gonna go through those point by point. And the first one is project. Think about your project. Do you have an idea already? Maybe you need some inspiration. What do you like about the inspiration you found? Everything? Just the colors? Maybe you like the design. Think about your skill level and if you have a deadline.
Number 2, think about the person you're sewing for. Do they appreciate the value of your time and energy? Sometimes people make quilts that they put loads of time in, and then they come in and they're very sad because the quilt ends up in the dog's basket or as a picnic blanket.
And number 3, think about the place. Think about the place you're gonna wear this project or where you're gonna use it. Is the project for a specific event? Maybe it's for a room in your home. You're gonna wanna think about the place. We are gonna show you what using the 3 Ps looks like in real life when we talk to you or our customers in the shop. Mom, you wanna do a little role play a little bit for our
Certainly,
audience?
I would love to.
So do you wanna be the customer?
I'll be the customer.
And I'll
yes.
just be Jess.
Okay, good.
Hi, what brings you into Smile Spinners today?
I'm here to look for some fabric.
Ooh, what kind of project are you making?
Well, I've thought about this and I have to make a quilt for my daughter, and it's for a special event and it's coming up really soon.
Ooh, so you're on a deadline. Okay. Did you have a project in mind? You said a quilt.
Yeah, I need to have something fairly simple because my skill level really isn't that high, and honestly, I don't have a lot of time, so it has to go together really quickly.
Okay. And how about, colors? Like, tell me about your daughter a little bit. Does she have a certain color palette that she likes?
Oh, she loves blue.
Oh,
anything with blue in it, and so I should probably try to use blue in my project.
Awesome. I can take you back to our blue section and we will edit down our fabric choices from there. So did you guys pick up on that? We asked, who was Kathy sewing for? That is the person. We asked Kathy about the project, and she told us she was making a quilt and she needs it to be easy. And then we asked about the place, and this is going to be made for a special event that's probably going to be in her daughter's home. Our customer was looking for blue fabrics, and this is the selection that she brought to us at the cutting counter because she needed a little bit of help editing these out. Let's talk about this first one. What do you think?
Well, first off, what I would say with this fabric when somebody brought it to us is a couple of things. One, it's directional. So you're really going to have to pay attention to how you place that in your quilt. The other thing is what size pieces are you going to cut? This one, if you have smaller pieces, if you really are in love with those birds, you may not see those birds at all.
I know, you may chop his little head off.
This background, so that you might have to fussy cut this.
I know, and we actually talked about that in another video. So if you're not sure what fussy cutting is, we'll put the link to our video below. But yeah, this, since our customer told us she was kind of rushed on time, this may be one that we would say, you know, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time, you know, figuring out what size blocks and how to center those birds. So this may be a fabric that while you love it, we may want to put that one aside because it'll be too challenging to work with for this project.
What about that one?
Well, this is great too. I mean, she said she was looking for blue and white, but this one is a stripe. So again, we may run into a little bit of a challenge working with a stripe. If she brought something like either of these two fabrics to the cutting counter, right? These fabrics have an all over print. Why do we like all over prints for our projects, especially if we are on a time crunch?
Because we don't have to worry about direction. We don't have to worry about the stripe. We can just cut them and go.
Yes, you're just being like in sewing zen. You can just cut your stuff, stitch it together, and you're good to go.
There is nothing worse than getting a quilt all together and being like,
I have one upside down.
There's one upside down.
Yeah.
And then what do? I can tell you, I've seen a lot of grown women cry because that has happened to them. So sometimes you need to really look at your fabric purchases and make it easy on yourself. They're still fabulous.
Next, we'll audition fabrics based on the love it factor. Every now and then we get a customer who comes in and we ask them, how can we help you today? What are you looking for? And they say,
I'll know it when I see it.
And we're just like, okay, let us know if we can help you. And oftentimes what happens is the customer does what?
They wander around the shop and eventually they find one or two that they really love. So Jessica, I've walked around and I love these fabrics.
Yeah, they'll be like, I love this, but I don't know where to go from here. I don't know how to make a quilt from this fabric.
So can you help me? Of course we can.
Yeah, and we're gonna show you how we would pull fabrics from something that you absolutely love and narrow them down so that you can have a project that really makes you happy. So what we have helped our customer do in this situation is to focus on some specific colors that they can find in their fabric, right? So we've pulled out the blues, you can see here. We've pulled out some of these like beautiful sage greens, and then we've pulled out the yellow, and we've arranged all of these together. And why this is easier for the customer is because you don't have all of these fabrics that you're trying to edit down. We've just given you 3 blues to choose from instead of 100 blues to choose from, right? And that is far less intimidating. And now what would we do from this point? Say we only want to use 1 blue, 1 green, 1 yellow, and this main fabric. Let's talk through with our friends here about how they would edit these down.
Oftentimes people will say, oh, I really love all of those. Which one is your favorite? And really, we generally will not pull out any fabrics that won't work well. So then we say to them, oh, just relax. You can pick your favorites because all of these will really look good in your project.
There's no wrong choice. It has to be about what you like.
If we were to look at the first 2 fabrics, those are really easy to work with. There's not direction in any of those. This one allows our main fabric that we were really in love with to shine and sparkle, so it's there in a supporting role.
Exactly. But I like what this one does too, because it's like botanical, right? So a lot of times we would tell our customers, oh, the reason why these go together outside of the colors matching is that it keeps that flower theme going. That's what makes sense in your project.
Now this other blue one, while it works really well and it pulls out that blue that's in the center of the flower, a little bit harder once again to work with because of the pattern. Although I've got to say, I really love it.
I do too. I love
someone who is just starting out quilting should probably avoid that fabric. And if you don't understand why I'm saying that, then that is one you should avoid.
Yeah, and again, we have a video on that about choosing your fabrics.
All right, and then the greens.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. They work really well with the greens that are in this fabric. And it really is a matter of what do you love. While this one is directional, you're really not going to notice it. So in the quilt, it once again is in a supporting role, and it really makes this one stand out.
So I want to give a pro tip, something that I learned working years in the garment industry, developing textiles, is this rule of like pick a few things that are safe, right? And this would be your safe choice. From far away, you can't even tell that there's a design here, and it looks really, really nice together with this. I think this green too is kind of a safe choice.
Beautiful. Because
it pulls out that dark color green. It's also from the same collection, right? But my tip would be pull a few safe things and then pull one that's kind of wild, okay? Because oftentimes that ends up being the fabric that looks the coolest with everything else and gives your project a lot of dimension. And that would be this green one. So this is more of a geometric print. It's really very different than some of our other fabrics. It goes together from a color standpoint, but definitely more of a modern fabric. Like, it doesn't have that pretty sort of floral look to it. So this would be my outlier. And I have to say, what I really love about this is that little geometric design kind of reminds me of the inside of the leaves. And to me, that makes this fabric really interesting.
What about the yellow?
So the yellow, we pulled one option for the yellow that is a tone-on-tone fabric. And tone-on-tones mean that it's a yellow on yellow print in this case. And that allows you to have color without a lot of distracting prints. And I really think that this yellow looks so beautiful with all of the greens that we've chosen, all of our blue option that we've chosen. So as a customer, you have 6 or 7 fabrics, and it's very easy to narrow your choices down from that point. Now, what about if you have a fabric like this one, where you actually have different color ground, right? So what I mean when I say that is the background is different. In this case, we have a black ground and we have a white ground. What sort of advice would we give our customers then?
It really is which one you love the most, because all of these choices look great with either fabric. So that
what happens when we change from a predominantly light fabric to a predominantly dark fabric in our quilt, in your experience?
Oftentimes what your focus ends up being really changes.
Yeah, so you have this really dark sort of palette, and when we switch to the light one, the whole mood of your project really changes. So you go to this really light and airy sort of happy feeling when you have a lighter ground fabric, as opposed to a fabric with a dark ground, it kind of has this, I don't know, this moody sort of feeling to it. And I don't know, it's darker, it's a little bit more modern to have a black ground. So you would want to think about how the background colors of your main fabrics may change the mood of your project.
We have put these tips together to empower you so that you can walk into any fabric shop feeling confident and leave very happy with your purchases. We hope you liked the video and learned valuable tips on choosing fabrics.
Yep. Give us a like and a subscribe, and you'll receive our content that comes out each week, because we have lots more tips where this came from. And in the comments below, we've given some links for the 3 Ps and the Love It Factor, so you can use our tips on your own. Happy sewing.